So if you're interested in watching today's video, stay tuned. Well, we're gonna do a recap of my first week of my OB Peds course in the Online LPN to BSN program. So yes, guys, y'all, you know, the video before I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be making a lot of videos, but I will say I have definitely been organizing my time. I've also been making sure that I'm staying ahead of the game, so I am able to make this video. Y'all, OMG. This class is so freaking intense, okay? Like I stated in the previous video, and if you haven't seen it, I'll like attach a card or something so that you guys can go check out how I prepared for the LPN, online LPN to BSN spring semester. And so yes, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. But I told you guys that basically I would be taking Peds and OB, and I have 4 weeks for each course. Now y'all, so let's talk about it. Let's chit chat about it really quick, and then I'm gonna basically get my head together and get ahead for the next week. So my textbook for pediatrics came in. I didn't show you guys that in the last video. This is what it looks like. It has this Amazon sticker because I rent my books, because I'm not going to be buying books like that. So I rent my books, so it does have the sticker, but this is what the name of the book is. And it's a thin book. Like my OB book is pretty thin compared to when I was in PN school and when I did the RN program for the associate's degree. So yeah. Okay. So this week I had to pull out my old friends, my pocket cards from Tribe RN and look at fetal circulation. Like, this is basically what we talked about. I love these cards from Tribe RN. They're from Tribe RN. And basically, I keep them on the ring so I don't lose them, but you can take them off. All the purple section is like OB, and the pink is like pediatrics type of cards. And so this week, we did basically, I'm gonna be looking down, y'all, because I'm looking in my notebook. But this week we did an overview of the reproductive system. So of course, any OB course is going to start off giving you the reproductive anatomy and physiology. And then we kind of talked about conception and prenatal development. And basically that's just kind of like the meats and potatoes of OB. Then we kind of talked about maternity and women's health in general, just a general sense of basically some statistics behind some things, as well as excuse me guys, some statistics behind some things, as well as we just kind of talked about like the history of OB and granny midwives and that type of thing. And then we talked about women's health. Now in women's health, it was basically a generalized conversation about when you're dealing with women and when you're doing your assessments, basically questions you'll ask, history, health history type of questions you'll ask, as well as some counseling and education that you can do. So for example, if a woman is taking birth control, or if she's taking a ton of other hormones, those things can kind of break down the bones, which makes her at risk for osteoporosis at an earlier age. So basically just counseling or educating on that type of thing. And then after that, we kind of went into family planning, and this is basically where OB kind of started. And family planning is, I'm saying it's easy. For some people, it may not be easy, but it's easy to me simply because I used to be a sex health educator with Planned Parenthood. And yes, it's basically talking about contraceptives, safe sex, or the calendar method, the basal temperature, that type of thing. And then lastly, well, the two last things to close out the week, we talked about maternal adaptations. So basically how the pregnancy takes place in the body, and what happens during the various trimesters with the family and the woman. And then we talked about nutrition. So like basically what are the things that you need. In talking about that, I basically, like I said, had to take out my Tribe RN cards because we did talk about fetal circulation, and this little tribal ID card helped me to understand fetal circulation. So we talked about fetal circulation inside the womb and then after birth. And then I also had to look at my card. What else did I have to look at it for? That was it. So these are some good little study cards to get. Just quick reference. It breaks the information down. Bam. Well, 3 assignments this week. The first assignment, we had to do an illustration of at least 5 stages of the birth process. And we had to write 3 statements with that. So this is mine. Y'all don't judge me. I am not a artist or drawer. I'm really crafty, but this was mine. I posted it on my Instagram, and basically you just picked 5 stages and like you basically wrote different things for it. I received a 100% on this particular assignment, and we also had to do a diet plan activity where basically we had to pick a risk factor, and one of the risk factors I selected was a vegetarian diet. A lot of times women who are pregnant with the vegetarian diet, they lack a few things that they need in order to have a healthy pregnancy. So basically I had to create a meal plan, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 snacks on why first on what the pregnant vegetarian woman needed, and a rationale for why I selected that. So yes, I got a 100% on that assignment. So then the last assignment that we had to do for this first week of OB was our mini exam. And the mini exam was on a lockdown browser, so the camera comes on. Basically, it listens to make sure you're not cheating, and it has a camera view on you to ensure that you are looking directly at the questions. And so that's why I said a few videos back, just because the program isn't online does not mean that you do not need to study. So I studied a little bit. Now that I know next week, I know that I definitely need to cover more ground and do more NCLEX style questions, possibly in my Sunders book. And so yes, basically it was NCLEX style questions. There were a ton of select all that apply. It was 20 questions, and I missed a total of 4. So I got a 16 out of 20, which was an 80%. So right now, with everything, I have a B in the class simply because I missed those 4 questions on the mini exam. So next week, I have to buckle down even tighter to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So this first week of OB has been, I wouldn't necessarily say rough. It's been a journey, but I'm not gonna complain about it. I've been able to listen to my lectures, and I'm thankful that I've been able to get ahead. So I've already printed off my PowerPoint slides for week 2. And so I will start on that like after this video, so that way I can basically go ahead and kind of get a head start. My goal is to have all my lectures listened to by Tuesday. So that way I can just spend the rest of the week doing NCLEX style questions and studying. We do have an additional activity in addition to our mini exam, and it's a prenatal education activity that we have to do, or basically we have to do a 5-minute video on prenatal education. And I'm just going to show you guys one example and then jump off of camera of how I showed you guys how I set up my PowerPoints for the first week of school. So this is how I'm doing it the second week. So here's my PowerPoints all printed off and stuff. And what I did was I put what lesson it was, and then I have my book stickers from Admired by Me, what pages I need to read, glance at, whatever. And then I put down here at the bottom that the lecture is 54 minutes, 14 seconds. So that way I can kind of have an idea of how much time I need to dedicate in listening to, well, watching my lectures and listening to them. We also have to do some things for the clinical course that were due this first week. So we basically had to do an introduction and then a clinical schedule. And so I will be starting on those clinical tasks this upcoming week, week 2. Week 1, I just kind of got myself together. So I have to do my medication calculations quiz, which is my dosage cal. So I will be working on that. And then for Peds, by this week, my goal is to have the Peds lab prep and assignments done, as well as the pediatric medication quiz. And I also have the mandatory reporter training done tomorrow. And yeah, so and I'm looking, I basically have a clinical calendar here where I wrote out the dates and stuff, so that way I can like stay ahead and like knock things down. Because in the clinical component, we do have like a thick folder full of things that we have to do pre-clinical before we can even start clinical. And I'm supposed to start clinicals the last week of January, and I'm not trying to push that back. So yes, guys, this first week has been stressful. Now, I can't guarantee you guys I'll be coming on week to week, but I will be doing my best to share my journey. Follow my IG. That's where you're going to see me the most, and I'll be able to post things. But my 3 tips for this week is 1, make sure you're organized. I've already said that like before in another video, but make sure you're organized, because when you're organized, it helps you to easily get through the week. Tip 2, try to get things done at the beginning of the week versus the ending part of the week. And the reason why I say that is because the ending part of the week, you typically have your deadlines, your due dates. You typically have to basically get everything done by 11:59 and turned in. So if you're doing things at the beginning of the week and knocking it off your list, then you're making it easier for yourself, because then towards the end of the week, you could tackle the big things, or you could already have everything tackled and be able to just take a day for yourself and not do any schoolwork, and then pick up the next day and hit it hard again. And my tip number 3 for you guys for this first week of nursing school is to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to understand material. So I showed you guys that I pulled out a resource. Pull out resources, because the material builds from the previous week. So if it's a book that you like, pull that book out. If it's a drawing or a YouTube video or a Khan Academy video, pull it out of the hat and use it. Simply because this week I did use Khan Academy. Our teacher linked 2 videos for fetal circulation for Khan Academy, and that helped me tremendously. And my Tribe RN card helped me tremendously. So those are my 3 nuggets for this week. I hope and pray that you guys have a bomb rest of the weekend. I hope that you have an amazing week 2 of school, or if this is your week 3 of school, I'm hoping that it's bomb for you. And like I said, you guys, please continue to check out my channel. Please continue to support. And until our next video, bye guys.